All right. Okay. So, hold on. I'm dropping a little bit of gas in the carburetor. See if I get a spark on the first try. Hi. Hi, gang. So, I opened my eyes. I opened my eyes today again with a dream. I should say, like towards. I'm gonna try to spare you guys the all the ways that I receive these messages from the Father, but from the latter portion of me opening my eyes as I was coming to from the dream state, I was receiving a message that I can remember. And again, I'm gonna spare you. You know, I know I try to communicate several times on how it is that the Father gives me messages, and one of the forms that the Father gives me messages, and apparently it's been coming in the form of He speaks to me all around at any given time, but apparently lately has been in the form of me opening my eyes from sleep, and He speaks to me in the way that He speaks to me, which could be pretty cool, pretty interesting, fun, as He gives me analogies around my passion for motorcycles and in a way that only I can understand. And whatever, long story short, to what I can only equate being a message, and I'm taking it very, trying to take this very seriously, because I take everything the Father tells me seriously, but I'm taking it seriously in the sense of, like, this is not just for me, it's for what is to come for all. And for the lack of better interpretation of what I'm trying to say, the equation of the dream basically led me to the Passover. And again, I'm the laziest when it comes to, like, trying to keep up. I'd be 100% with you. I don't keep up with because it's not, I don't keep up with the Torah observant calendar, for lack of a better term. I don't keep up with it. The Father has taught me that things have deeper revelation, and He has taught me the revelation on things. And when He shows me the true meaning of that, of specific things that I come across in the text, I still apply it, but I don't apply it in the way that most folks physically, on a literal physical form, would apply it. I apply it in spirit and truth. That means it is applied in a more meaningful, more mind altering way. I apply it in the way that I have came to be instructed by the Father, that it is the, for, again, I'm not saying that Torah observant folks are incorrect. I'm just saying there is a deeper level of revelation. Okay? And I apply it there because that is where I have found the Father has shown me to be. And not because, again, not because I am better than anybody or because I am willingly seeking out the most. It's not because I'm special. It's because the Father decided that I was going to be born and this was going to be my path. Okay? I'm not looking for this. The Father literally just lines me up. Okay? And I cannot go against my Creator. I just can't. So I'm here in front of you, and this is what you get. You know? I suck at reading because I have difficulty with letters on a paper page. Okay? Or on a, or in any format for that matter. And it's difficult for me to read in a way that is pleasant for folks, which is why I try not to read on camera as often. I read on my own time because it is the only way that I can, get that done. But I retain the information, and the Father speaks to me through that information that I retain, and through many other things that I have not, that are on the books and on text that I have not even remembered, or some parts that I haven't even read, or at least I don't remember reading. But the Father speaks to me all around. But nevertheless, I woke up today with this portion of a message, with the message, and in a unique way that the Father speaks to me, and I came down to it being basically a Passover message. And I don't know where the Torah observant people, I haven't Googled anything or remember, or nor do I concern myself with. I am, in tune as He shows me. I concern myself with what He shows me in real time. Okay? So I went back to Moses, and I went back to Exodus, and I went back to the story of Moses facing Pharaoh, and basically Pharaoh's heart being hardened, and basically going to the part where Moses is instructed. Okay, so I'm gonna read this, and then I'm gonna spill my brains on what I get from this, and what basically I believe the Father's trying to tell people. So I'm reading from, if it matters to you, I'm reading from, I don't know if you can see that. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. So I'm reading from the most authentic Ethiopian Bible in English, 88 books, apparently written by Ezra Marshall. Okay, if that matters to you. That's the book that I came to for one reason or another. That's the one that I saw in my head grabbing to come here and do this. Again, take it to the Father. This is me in real time, okay? However it is, if you receive it, you receive it. I'm just giving it to you as it's given to me. So this is, in this book is page 26, and it's the second book of Moses, Exodus. And it's Exodus 12. Okay? So 12:1. Yahweh spoke to Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be to you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak to all the congregation of Israel, saying, On the 10th day of this month they shall take to them every man a lamb according to their fathers' houses, a lamb for a household. And if the household is too little for a lamb, then he and his neighbor next to his house shall take one according to the number of souls. You shall make your count for the lamb according to what everyone can eat. Your lamb shall be without defect, a male a year old, a male a year old. You shall take it from the sheep or from the goats. You shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it at evening. They shall take some of the blood and put it on the two doorposts and on the lintel, on the houses in which they shall eat it. They shall eat the meat in that night, roasted with fire, with unleavened bread. They shall eat it with bitter herbs. Don't eat it raw, nor boil at all with water, but roast it with fire, with its head, its legs, and its inner parts. You shall let nothing of it remain until the morning, but that which remains of it until the morning you shall burn with fire. This is how you shall eat it: with your belt on your waist, your sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand. And you shall eat it in haste. It is Yahweh's Passover. For I will go through the land of Egypt in that night, and will strike all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and animal. I will execute judgments against all the gods, little g, of Egypt. I am Yahweh. The blood shall be to you for a token on the houses where you are. Where I see the blood, I will pass over you, and no plague will be on you to destroy you when I strike the land of Egypt. No plague will be on you to destroy you when I strike the land of Egypt. This day shall be a memorial for you. You shall remember it. You shall keep it as a feast to Yahweh. You shall keep it as a feast throughout your generations, by an ordinance forever. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. Even the first day you shall put away yeast out of your houses. For whoever eats leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel. In the first day there shall be to you a holy convocation, and in the seventh day a holy convocation. The first day shall be to you a holy convocation. No kind of work shall be done in them, except that which every man must eat, only that may be done by you. You shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for in this same day I have brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore you shall observe this day throughout your generations by an ordinance forever. Okay, and that's 17. I'm going to stop right there. 12, Exodus 12, 1 through 17. Okay. Okay. Bear with me, okay? Who is Moses? The deliverer. Okay, I'm going to try to say things without saying things. Just bear with me here. Okay. Who is Moses? Yahweh speaks to Moses and Aaron. Who is Moses? Moses is the deliverer. Is the one the Father chose to go liberate his people, the Father's people. Aaron, for lack of a better term, is his assistant. Okay? Okay? In the land of Egypt. What is the land of Egypt? The land of Egypt is where the Father's people. I know, it's so simple, but are you listening? The land of Egypt is where the Father's people are enslaved in. Everything that the land of Egypt represents. Okay? So, this is an event that's happening that the Father wants you to remember, to record. This is the beginning, he says. This month shall be to you the beginning of months. So we're starting a clock here. This is where your time starts. You're starting a clock here. This is meaningful. So that you may not forget what the Father does for you. Okay? Now let's keep going. Speak to all the congregations of Israel. Okay? Moses is instructed to tell the people that the Father has entrusted Moses with. Okay? This is no easy task. This is no easy task. Moses is the ambassador of the Father. Okay? He is the man that the Father has chosen. Okay? Okay? Are you? All right. So he tell the congregation of Israel, saying, on the 10th day of this month, they shall take to them every man a lamb. Now, we know, I hope we know, if we don't know, you're about to know. After Jesus Christ, after the appearance, the birth of Yeshua HaMashiach, okay? This is all basically a representation of the days of Yeshua HaMashiach. If you didn't catch it from the beginning when I was saying, I'm going to try to say things without saying things. Okay? This is all a representation of the only one, the last sacrifice needed. The spotless lamb. Okay? So he goes on the 10th day of this month. So every man a lamb, according to their father's houses. A lamb for a household. We all have the lamb for our household. Okay? We all have our household, and there's one lamb that we need. We all have that one lamb. After Yeshua HaMashiach, we all share that one lamb. Oh, maybe that means that we're all neighbors. Oh, look at that. Okay. Lamb according to their father's household, and their household is too little. Okay. The household is too little for lamb, then he and his neighbor next to his house shall take. Here it is. No prejudice. It's okay. We're all neighbors. We're all Israel. Okay? It's cool. We can share the lamb. You know what? We're already sharing the lamb. We're sharing the spotless lamb. Yeshua HaMashiach is the spotless lamb. Okay? That covers that right there. Take one according to the number of souls. Take them into account for can eat. Your lamb shall be without defect, without blemish. The spotless lamb. Again, we all share the same lamb. I can only imagine how must have been, how many Israelites or Hebrews were in the land of Egypt at that time. Can you imagine every household having to go and seek out their own? That was a process. Okay, that was a process. Every household needed to come up with their own lamb, with their own spotless lamb, with their own no defect, perfect lamb. Okay. All right. A male, a year old. You shall take it from the sheep or from the goats. I'm not going to get into that one, but that deserves a little bit of scrutinizing on the line, but that's not. Okay. You shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month. Again, time frames here is important. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it at evening. Evening, what is evening? Evening is the end of the day. I'm giving it to you the way the Father gives it to me, okay? Evening is the end of the day. Open your ears, okay? Evening is the end of the day. What is a day to the Father as we know it to be, more or less? Forget physical time frames as much, but let's utilize this analogy, okay? Our day starts when the sun rises. When the sun sets, it's evening. That's the end of the day. That means that everything that we had to do in preparation towards this moment, we did from the beginning of the day. At the end of the day, okay, the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it at the evening, at evening. They shall take some of the blood, and put it on the two doorposts and on the lintel, which I can only, I do a little search. I'm not too familiar with this word. Assuming this means cover the window area portion. I'm assuming. Lintel also hints at some kind of a post, some kind of I don't know. Just go check that out. But the doorstep speaks to me. The doorpost speaks to me because the doorpost is the entry to your household. And the windows, the eyes of the window of the soul. We've said that. But anyways, if this is what I get from this part right here. Let me make sure I don't forget where I'm at. 6, 7, 7. Should take some blood. The blood clearly is the blood of the spotless lamb. Who is the spotless lamb? The spotless lamb is Yeshua HaMashiach. Jesus the Christ is the spotless lamb. The only one, the last sacrifice, the last spotless lamb needed is Yeshua HaMashiach. That's it. There is no other. There is no other. There is no longer a need for us to seek out any other lamb, because the one spotless lamb has been slaughtered, has been sacrificed for all of us, for all the Father's people. Okay? Where am I? 7. Where you at? You shall take from the blood of the blood. Okay, so we have to cover ourselves. So the doorposts, that's the distance from post to post, is the distance, is the entryway to our household. Who are we? We are the dwelling of the Spirit of the Father. The kingdom of heaven is within you. We are the Father's dwelling. The Father dwells within us. Okay? So we have to cover with the blood of the sacrifice of the spotless lamb that's already been slain, it's already been sacrificed. We have to cover the door. What goes in our dwelling needs to be covered with the blood. Okay? So what we intake there, what we allow in, is covered by the blood of the sacrifice of the only one spotless lamb. Okay? So we're covering our temple with the blood of that sacrifice. Okay? Following me here? Okay? And if the lintel is the window, what you see, what comes in, what you allow in to intake. Okay? What you allowed in your dwelling, the dwelling of the Father's house. Because this is a spirit of death that's going over. Okay? So death will not touch us when we are covered by the blood of the sacrifice. But it has to be, the sacrifice needs to be the one true sacrifice. That's the key. The key is not just any sacrifice. It's not the sacrifice of your choosing. It's not the sacrifice that you want to believe. It's not the sacrifice that massages your flesh and makes you feel good, because you're not really sacrificing your flesh. You're sacrificing the purpose that Christ came to die for. If you do not heed to the sacrifice of his doing. So it matters. What are you sacrificing? It's either one or the other. You're either sacrificing your own flesh for the sake of following Christ. Okay? By accepting Christ's sacrifice, you are sacrificing self. But if you choose to believe your own sacrifice, that this is what I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to do it this way because this is the way that it doesn't affect my business. This is the way that it doesn't affect my social circle. This is the way that I can keep making money. This is the way that I can do it where it still looks like I'm doing it, but it's not damaging my social status in this terrestrial plane. No. That's doing it the way that rich young ruler was doing it. The rich young ruler thought that he could do a couple of these things that look good to the eyes of man, but when Christ told him, go give all that you have, give it to the poor, and then come follow me. Basically dismay yourself from all the terrestrial riches and then come follow me. When Yeshua told the rich young ruler that, he couldn't do it because he wanted to do it himself. Therefore, he was not ready to accept Christ's sacrifice. He wanted to create his own. He came to the realization that he could not. He got the word directly from the master. I'm just a messenger. He got the word directly from the master. Go give everything you have. Give it to the poor. Then come follow me. Otherwise, what are we doing? Okay? I mean, I get lost. 7, 6, 7. They shall take some of the blood and put it on the 2 doorposts on the houses in which they shall eat it. They shall eat it. You shall eat the meat in that night, roasted with fire, with unleavened bread. Again, without blemish. This is all representation of perfection, of the innocence that Christ was an innocent man. Yeshua HaMashiach was an innocent man, is an innocent man. He took on our sinful nature upon himself. That is why the Father turned his head while he was on that stake. The Father turned his head from him. Christ is on that stake and he's like, oh, Father, why have you forsaken me? Because he took the transgressions of us all on his shoulders, on himself. He took it on himself. He was without blemish. He was without sin. He took upon himself our burden. He paid with his perfection, he paid for our iniquity. Okay? That's what the whole non-leaven thing is about. It's a little for the lamb, blah, blah, blah. Again, share with your neighbor. Let me not even touch on that part where he says, this new commandment I give you. The part where Jesus says, this new commandment I give you, that you love each other. You know, love, again, back to those 2 commandments. You pretending to do everything else means nothing. If inwardly, you are neglecting your brethren or neglecting your neighbor, you're not really loving God if you're not loving each other. If I can't love you, I don't love God. I don't know what love is. And we don't have to get into what love is then, or what love looks like to you, because we can manipulate that all day long. My love for my brethren, for my neighbor, for my enemies is the same love the Father has for me, because I know better. And what that is for us to heed and abide by the will of the Father. Not by my will, not by your will, not by what we think is truth, what we want to be true. No, it's by the will. And we don't know what that is. We do not know what the will of the Father is as sinful flesh. We can beat that horse to death in the dark all day long. You do not know what the Father's will is until you submit yourself to the sacrifice of the Lamb. Until you submit yourself, until you follow the footsteps of Christ in denying self and then doing your own burnt offerings within you. You do not know what the will of the Father is. Because the will of the Father is only revealed when you start to obey the voice of His Spirit. And if you don't obey the voice of His Spirit, you're not really doing anything. You're not really doing the feasts. You're not really doing the offerings, the burnt offerings. You're not really following anything in the Old Testament. Because Christ came to fulfill the law in you. It does nothing for you to do all the theatrics. Oh, but I'm doing it according to the Word. But your heart is evil. You're doing it for the wrong reasons. Christ says the renewal of your mind. Accepting the sacrifice of Christ means that you allow the Spirit to renew your mind. He gives you a new heart. It's your heart condition the Father's after. The Father appointed David because his heart, and we can go into that translation however you want. But the Father, in the text, it records in the versions that I've read that David had, and I know David did stuff, I know, but David had the heart of the Father, heart of God, the heart of Yah, and we know that David was not perfect. We know that, but he was according to the Father's own heart enough for the Father to appoint him over Saul, which was the leader of the Father's people at that time. And at some point, Saul went his own way. And the Father had it in his heart to appoint a new leader, a new king that would serve him according to the Father's will. And that soul he raised from birth, and it was David. David was slaying lions in the field. David was doing things that other men weren't doing in the field. Things that men his stature probably shouldn't not been able to do in the field. But that's because David wasn't the same as everyone else. And it has nothing to do with the physicality of the story, of your perception of this is literally, if we are not seeing this correctly, like when it came down to him slaying Goliath, David removed this. There's many reasons why he removed the armor. This is all symbolic of many things, because Saul, if anything, Saul wanted the glory for himself. Again, not part of the plan. But this is all how perfect Father's plan is. That armor of Saul was never meant to fit David. David was like, nah man, get this off of me. This is gonna weigh me down. I don't need this. He went out there raw with the tool that he knew how to use. And he brought down the giant that all of the armies of Saul were afraid, even Saul himself, to face. They were afraid to face that giant. And little old David went out there with the heart according to the Father. Heart condition. This was clearly, it looked like, not really a physical act as much as it was a spiritual act. This was the Father, the same Spirit of the Father that directed Samuel to anoint David. It was the same Spirit that was with David when he knocked down Goliath. And who did David give the glory to? Not himself. Which is the reason why he's replacing Saul in the first place. He did not give the glory to Saul or to himself. He gave the glory to the Father. And you can go right back down to that story and see how Saul already had the devil in him. And he was jealous. Okay, but the point here is, I should be without defect. To that evening, at the end of the day. So, this is the message. We're coming up to the end of the day. We're coming up to evening. Evening is upon us. Evening is upon us. Not by power or by might. Not by power or by might. They don't understand. Why were the Father's people enslaved by Pharaoh, by the Egyptians? There were so many of the Hebrews, of the Father's people, of the Israelites, whatever you want to, however we're going to label these individuals, okay? I call them the Father's people. That's just what it is to me. As crazy as, it's crazy. But anyways, at that time, there were so many of them, and somehow there was an element of fear. There was an element of power that the Pharaoh and the Egyptians had over the Hebrews, Israelites, the Father's people, that they were not capable of breaking loose on their own. There was a level of power. I can't, my mind could run wild. I'd rather not. But I'm pretty sure that the technology and the power and the abilities that the Egyptians had was not a regular humanoid or regular terrestrial. I don't think the Egyptians at that time and Pharaoh were regular human beings. I'll leave that right there. I also I don't receive in my spirit that the technology or the power and the means and the weaponry, the ability that they had to exercise that domain, that power over the Father's people was manufactured by themselves. I believe that was certain power that was given to them. No different than what's going on today. No different than what's going on today. Okay? If you think that you have night vision goggles, you have nods, you have the ability and the technology to see in the dark, that you have the latest and greatest projectile technology and cartridges to stick in your boom boom stick, and that you have we got the means. though. You don't understand. We got buddies on the inside. We got the same stuff they got. No, you do not. Anything that has been allowed and granted to us that you have access to, whether directly or under the table, is nothing in comparison to what those that granted us that technology and weaponry have. Only the direct minions, only the puppets, direct puppets, bloodline, descendants, whatever you want to call it, those that are directly underneath with their hands out to the evil one, the one that promised Christ, hey, all of this I will give to you. Those that opened their hands and said, I'll take it. That's not me and you. Remember, he has no power other than what we give to us, to them. Somebody made out of this gave them the ability to come in to affect this terrestrial plane. Somebody did. Through that bloodline, through that flesh that gave the right of way, the passage, we have been manipulated. Okay? Through that means, through the means of that right of passage. So we are underneath a certain bag of meat and bones that get their power directly from that. I know, sounds crazy, but pay attention, because you're going to want to know what this crazy guy is talking about in times to come. Because it won't sound so crazy then. It sounds crazy now. Okay? So, just thinking about how crazy it sounds. Anyways, I'm here. You think I have a choice. That's great. That's all right. Laugh. It doesn't matter. Your protection comes from the sacrifice. The sacrifice was already done. Your protection comes from the sacrifice of the spotless lamb. All you have to do, for the love of everything that you love, all you need to do is take this serious enough to humble yourself to the understanding that this is what's being affected. Everything else is a theatrics to try to get your heart in a fearful state to accept the lie. All you need to do is cover your doorposts with the blood of the spotless lamb. Cover the doorposts. How do you do that? That is faith. The faith, the just stubborn faith that I don't care what happens around me. You have to be about that life. That I don't care what happens around me. My allegiance, my loyalty is to the one that came and laid his life for me. It's my loyalty. It's a different warfare. It's a different perception. Do not be afraid of the one that can destroy the body. It's not the one you should fear. You fear the one that can destroy you entirely on this terrestrial plane and in the next existence to come. You shouldn't fear the devil. You shouldn't fear at all. Cover your posts. Drop it, man. Just drop it already. I'm tired. Just drop it. Let's get this over with. Quick. Just do it quick. All you need to do is cover your posts. Cover your posts. Okay? Because when the time comes, what you think is preparation, silly rabbit, what you think is preparation will fail you. And the blind guide that you thought was your Moses, you will come to the harsh realization that was just a Judah. And that Judah would you will come to find that had already betrayed you for 30 pieces of silver. Because at night, towards the end of the day, he knew what was coming. And he went and plotted against you. And you know what the funny thing about that is? Is that the outcome was the same. He gave everything he thought he had to save his flesh on this terrestrial plane, and he ended up getting tormented and ended himself. Oh, silly rabbit. You already have a Messiah. You already have a sacrifice. You have already been paid for. You already have an identity. You already hold more power than any man can give you or any fallen angel can give you. You have the sacrifice of the willing, only one perfect, spotless lamb. His name is Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ. However, listen, the Spirit is the interpreter. Is the interpreter. He fixes that frequency. The frequency is what matters. That's why the whole English language, that silly rabbit, the devil, the whole English language was created as a form of casting spells. You can go down that rabbit hole if you want to. The whole English language was manipulated literally to try for us to evoke with our own tongue, because the power of life and death is in our tongue. But here's the thing about that. What you open your mouth according to what's in your heart. What drives the sound is what comes out of the heart. It's not what enters the man, but what comes out of the man that makes the man unclean. Remember that? So it doesn't matter what language-ish, what type of word-ish, what matters is what's driving. So if I have no knowledge of this word actually meaning this in an ancient tongue, what's coming out of my heart, it doesn't matter if it's a J or a Y. If what's coming out of my heart is directed and it's in the right frequency, the Spirit of the Father grabs it and it lands where it needs to land. The same way the Father communicates with us. What comes out of the heart is what comes out of the mouth. Okay? The Spirit grabs it because it's correcting your heart first. It's what comes out of the man that makes the man unclean or clean. You know? So like when you stump your toe and you're like, yeah, you know what I mean? Or somebody steps on your toe and you're like, it's what comes out of the man. So if what comes out of you when you're pressured and you're squeezed is what matters. Okay? You realize who you are. When somebody steps on your toes, metaphorically, apply a situation in your life there. Go back to that moment, whatever that moment was. And that brother, that neighbor, or that dude that said to love you to no end, stepped on your toe real good. Real good. He stepped on your toe so good that he kept his foot there and kept doing one of these and kept looking in your eyes, smiling, telling you, I love you, brother. I love you, brother. Here's a little tap on the back. I love you, brother. Ooh, you like that? Yeah, I love you, brother. And that moment is when you realize who you really are. Who's really driving the bus. And that is your opportunity to humble yourself in front of the Father and be like, Father, I'm I'm a mess. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of your sacrifice. I'm not worthy of the sacrifice of your son. I'm not worthy. I have murdered more man in right up here. In thought. I'm not worthy. I have premeditated more evil in my heart. I'm sure that many of us could relate. Okay? Allegedly. I'm speaking metaphorically, of course. I'm speaking metaphorically. Okay? When we are pressured is when we realize who we truly are, who's truly inside. And that's when we make our decision who we want to be. Who do we want to follow? It's easy to say, oh, Yeshua, Jesus Christ, he wasn't a P word. He was no girly man. He was a man's man. It's easy to say that. Oh, he's a warrior. That's easy to say. But did you know that he is the way, the only way back to the Creator? Did you know that? Did you know that he said that if they persecuted him, they will persecute you? Did you know that he commands you to love your enemies? Do you know why he commands you to love your enemies? Because he did, as an example. But do you know why? Because your true enemies live within you. Every time you're pressured, your carnal nature comes out. Like this fly right now. I want to set it on fire. I want to set that fly on fire. I just corner it up. Just do unthinkable things. Just go straight for the blowtorch. Forget waterboarding. Anywho, this might be a continuation, but seriously, on a serious note, I'm sorry, Father. I'm sorry. On a serious note, the end of the day is upon us. Again, open your ear, open your ear. The end of the day is upon us. You will not defeat this foe with your own hands of flesh. It is not your foe to defeat. If you put yourself in the position of that fight, you will be counted as, again, listen to what happened here, okay? And I can't find it because I can't, everything, everything's a blur to me. The spirit of the Father, the spirit of death that the Father sent, okay? It went over the land. The reason why the Father's people were spared is because they decided to be obedient. And they covered their doorposts with the sacrifice of the lamb. If you do not cover, it's coming, guys. It's coming. It's not your fight. Get out of the way. How do you get out of the way? Be obedient. Be obedient. It's easy. Why do you want it? Why? Why do you want this so bad? So that you can prove something to yourself? So that you can prove something to everyone else? You fool. The only thing you will prove is that you are a fool. Claiming to know the Lord of hosts, yet not listening to the voice of His Spirit. You don't have to fight this foe. It's not your fight. He's coming up against his people. The enemy has waged war against the most powerful being in existence that is and will ever be. All you have to do is accept and get under his covering. Get under his covering here. Yes. The dark evening will come. Yes. Evening will come. And that plague will fly right over. It's gonna look scary. It's gonna look scary. But it's not coming for you. If you want to be part of that destruction, by all means, go do it your way. Go do it with your own hands of flesh. Go. Pick it up. Leave, forget it. Just forget anything I'm saying right now. I'm just some hippie guy from the big city, I'm sure. I'm just some big hippie guy from the big city, prosperity gospel churches. I'm none of that. I don't fit anywhere I've been. My name has been lied about. I don't fit anywhere I've been. Because I don't serve any man's pastoral certifications. I don't serve a man. I've been kicked out of places for serving the one true God of creation. Okay? But that's neither here or there. If you want to go ahead and fight, go ahead and fight. Go ahead. The message here is, this is not your fight. What's coming upon us is the Father's fight. I'm here with you. I am here with you. I'm right here with you. I'm not better than you. I'm just one of you that decides to listen. Cover your doorposts with the blood of the Lamb. That's okay. Have your preparations. That's fine. That's okay. That's okay. Where your heart rests. Where your heart rests. When the foundation of your household, temple, your temple, rests should be only, first and beyond all, should be on the Father's capability of keeping you, on the sacrifice of the one that already came, died, resurrected, and ascended. The one that already paid the price. Follow his footsteps. I am the way, the truth, and the life. Signed, Yeshua HaMashiach. No one gets to the Father but through me, Yeshua HaMashiach. Stop trying to make sense. Stop trying to make sense. He says, a new commandment I give to you. Love one another. If you're trying to hoard trinkets for your children to have on this devil system after your flesh perishes, but you're not giving them the true generational wealth. The true generational wealth is the knowledge of the sacrifice of the spotless Lamb. You will take nothing else with you. You will take nothing else with you. The only generational wealth you will leave your offspring, you will leave here, period. Not just for those that come from your family tree, but anyone that comes across the labor of your obedience. You see, giving is receiving when you understand how the kingdom of the Father works. But that's all I got to say about that. That's all I got to say. Bless you guys.